And it's that time again. It's week 6 developer's commentary for Underminer. This week has shown improvements to optimization, the addition in model form of the first enemy, the worm here, and also added on the expansion algorithm for the landscape. As you dig down, it will slowly expand the area beneath you to make sure that you'll never reach the bottom until a predefined number, at which point you will just automatically win the game. That, along with a couple other winning conditions, including I'm so rich I just, want to retire now, and I've destroyed something or other. I haven't completely decided yet whether it would be opposing players that would probably factor in multiplayer mode, or whether it's just a sequence of hidden bosses or ruins that we're going to unlock and take care of or down. Whatever the case, I plan to have roughly 3 endings. Kill, get dirty rich, and simply dig your way so far that you reach the other side of the world, China. And I can only imagine their faces, Renner goblins, kind of small contraption digs its way to the bottom of their pagoda. Whatever the case, as you can tell here, the draw calls, the older version, usually getting around 200, 300, this full screen amount of dirt on the screen. This one only gets around 114, which is well within safety parameters and skew enough so that it actually runs ridiculously fast. I still had to sacrifice some quality though, because I essentially had to make it so the only light affecting these dirt blocks is the ambient light, and only things like the helicopter would be affected by the directional lights and point lights used in certain areas. As you can see though, as I did, this over here, whenever you see it get smaller, it means it's generated a new layer, and then it recombines into the combined rows. And it's doing this programmatically as I go down. No matter how far down I go, it will just keep doing that. One thing though, when it generates new layers, it drops the frames per second by about 20 frames per second. So it does create small jerks as you go down. They're actually kind of minimal if you take care of the upper layers thoroughly before you continue. However, if you don't, then they can become pretty significant as the number of blocks with colliders on the screen and in the game increase. That'll be the number of colliders physics has to calculate everything off of as you go down. So, if you don't stop and kind of create a large tunnel, you're going to end up stuck with a pretty slow game. Right now it's actually a lot slower than it would ordinarily be because I'm running recording, which takes a large amount of frames per second. But even so, it's something I'm having to worry about. Basically, how to create incentives for the player to not dig straight down, to actually take their time and dig out the upper areas. This will probably take the form of some sort of resource or simply just increase danger, because beyond a certain level, you will be swarmed with monsters more than likely. If you don't have weapons and armor and anything else you need to take care of that, you will probably be destroyed. Programming for the worm is coming along relatively well. Right now, it digs through the dirt, finds you, and launches itself at you. It's the point that comes after that that's troubling. Because if it attaches to your top, it would be practically impossible to take out, because you can't drill upwards, and there's really nothing you can do. So I had the idea of having it scraped off on dirt blocks, except that requires it to not only pass through the dirt blocks worth digging, but also collide with them, or not digging, which of course is a problem. So as you can see here, the animation for hitting it requires it to be roughly directly on. So while it's attached, it can hit you just fine. It'll probably knock itself off after the first blow, and then I turn on physics and allow it to glide down. However, switching between collider mode and trigger mode is something I'm working on right now. The logic is a little confusing, but I'm sure I'll have it figured out by next week. In any case, right now my main problems are, how do I get the player to dig down slow enough so that this doesn't happen, and how do I program that to work okay. Other than that, everything's working perfectly. And if I pause here and go into scene view, a quick zoom out, And you can easily tell that I have a darn large number of layers here. Well more than the original 50 or so, which stopped about here. Just keeps going and going and going as it just kept digging. And it would continue on essentially into infinity. Anyway, that's what I have for this week of development. A significant process. Garbage collecting all those bricks takes a little while, but it's over with. I have a few things to take care of, namely repair depot mechanics, the worm itself, getting it so that there's a reason to dig everything out on top to avoid that slowdown problem, which will inevitably happen anyway unless you're really thorough. So I just have to come up with creative ways to take care of this as I go. If nothing else, disabling colliders of layers that don't matter yet and allowing physics to have a slight break. In any case, this is the 6th week. Things are going great, and I'm logging off.